Well, hi, and welcome to the show. This is Men Are So Smart. It's a show for men, by men, that women are going to love. And what we do on the show is try to explain some of the differences between men and women and how men think. And we know it's different. But maybe if we explain why we think the way we do, we can become in sync.
There you go.
Okay? Now, my name is Lou Gallagher, and this is my buddy,
Corvette Ronnie.
Corvette Ronnie. Today we're in his garage, and this show is mobile. We go everywhere.
Yeah.
And in future days, we hope to be broadcasting live from Daytona
Bingo.
for the 2018 Daytona 500. But that's down the road. Let's get to today's show. When I got married 26 years ago, at the reception, I was asked to make a speech because of my broadcasting background. Now, keep in mind that this was about, at least halfway into the reception. And I'd had a couple. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a couple. And in my speech, which some deemed inappropriate,
Most probably.
I mentioned that one of the reasons that I married my wife was because her eyes were so beautiful. And I know what you're saying to yourself. Oh, Lou, that's beautiful words from you. Well, I followed up by saying her eyes are so beautiful they remind me of her dog.
Wow, that's right up there.
Yeah. That brings us to today's topic. 15 things that men say that get on women's nerves.
And this list could be like 120 things.
We don't have all day.
It's endless.
We don't have a week. When it comes to communication between men and women, there's a lot of misunderstandings. Even if the right words are being used, vocal cues aren't. For example, forcing your child to apologize, sure, they'll angrily exclaim, "I'm sorry," but it's not sincere. Guys, even if you're not trying to make women angry, embarrassed, or uncomfortable, there's a very good possibility that you will, because men communicate differently than women. That's a big old fat duh.
Yeah.
All right. However, if you're aware of this fact, you can start correcting the problem so that there aren't any misunderstandings. And if you can start by avoiding these words or phrases. Now, see, men, we do this for you.
Listen up.
Pay attention. We're going to go through this list, and these are things that you don't want to say to a woman, like, wow, your eyes are, yeah, you got it. Number one, calm down. As most women will inform you, these are probably the most condescending and anger-producing words in the English language. Truly, maybe the worst thing that you could possibly say. When a man says these words to a woman, it's pretty much like adding fuel to the fire. You're implying she's not in control of her emotions, which in turn makes her feel self-conscious and even more enraged. Meanwhile, it shows that you are saying that you, the man, are the wise and rational one. Instead of telling a woman to calm down, ask her sincerely, what's going on? It's pretty simple, guys. Number 2 on the list.
Number 2. That's not very ladylike.
Ooh.
Ooh, I shudder just to speak the words.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. So here's the definition of ladylike: appropriate for or typical of well-bred women or girl. Do we really apply that to women these days?
Well bred, it sounds like a horse.
Yeah, exactly. Let me check your teeth. Wow, that's just... honestly, that's not a problem for me. Those words could never leave my lips. No way. Number 3.
All right. You look really tired today. Oh my gosh. You want to get hot coffee in your face. I don't care who you are. Nobody looks their best when they're tired, and they probably have the grouchy mood to go with their unkempt physical appearance. Pointing out that someone is tired is implying that they look awful. I get it all the time. So avoid, you really look tired today. Don't say that, guys, okay?
Number 3, you look great for your age. Oh my God. That, unless maybe right around 24 years old, maybe.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that.
Anything beyond that, never, trust me on this, never ever say that. It's another statement that may have good intentions. Like, hey, you know what? You're 59 years old. You look great for your age.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off that way.
No.
No, it comes off very, very different to a woman.
The next one on the list is, what is it now? What is it now? This conveys impatience and anger about what is probably her bid for connecting with you. Every attempt she makes to connect with you is an opportunity to turn toward her need and connect emotionally. Instead of being impatient or angry over her concerns or questions, ask her, what's on your mind? Next up.
Actually, that's not a word.
Actually?
Ooh. Well, no, not actually.
Oh.
Actually is a word.
It is a word.
But when you tell them, actually, that's not a word.
Oh, when they say something. the
Yeah,
wrong way.
so
Okay.
one of my favorites.
Like supposedly?
Yes, that's not a word.
Oh, okay.
Well, one of my favorite. We have somebody at work. It's not a woman, but they say, well, Pacifically.
Oh, yeah.
Pacifically.
So on the left ocean? Or in it?
Come on. Or here's another one, different person. They say, that's mind-boggling.
Bottling?
Yeah, mind-boggling. Those are both words, but they're not correct. They're not put together correct.
My favorite is conversate.
Conversation is great.
I don't know how to do that. I can't conversate. I can converse. I can communicate. But no, I'm not going to conversate.
No,
Sorry.
No.
All right, next up. Wow, you look great. How much weight have you lost? Oh my God.
Big trouble.
Oh, why would you ever say something like that?
Take the blankets down to the couch right now.
These are backhanded compliments, to be sure. This is a well-meaning comment, which you probably meant as a compliment. However, it suggests that the woman was either unattractive or overweight in the past. Never make those implications by comparing a woman to how she looked in the past. Just simply tell her that it's nice to see her. And guys, a little caveat to this one is never say, wow, you're pregnant? How far along are you? Are you kidding me? Boom!
Suicide. That's your only option at that point. Yeah. Next on the list, listen. So when you start a sentence with the word listen, it's implying that they were not listening before, which they may or may not have been. I'm guilty of that. But to call them on it, probably not a great idea.
No.
You can make sure you have their attention first, but please don't start it with listen.
Next up on our list, listen, you ate the whole thing? This is a contender for most embarrassing statements that you can make to a woman, even if you're just in awe because she weighs 110 pounds and ate more wings than you did. To her, she hears that you think she has an eating problem or should be ashamed in some way because she was hungry, or in this case, hangry. On the flip side, also in void, is that all you're going to eat? You don't control what and how much a woman should eat, or the amount or content of what anyone should eat for that matter.
And I'm guilty of that one.
Really?
When we go to a restaurant, and if my wife eats more than half her plate, which she typically won't do, if I'm like, hey, where's my leftovers for lunch tomorrow? What am I supposed to do for lunch?
It's all about you, Ronnie.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I do say that.
All right, next up on our list.
That's a man's job. Oh, yeah, you can't be a doctor because that's a man's job.
Oh, that's a lead balloon.
You can't be a cop because that's a man's job.
Oh my gosh.
Just like there are nurses that are men, there can be doctors that are women. There are no gender specific jobs anymore. Don't ever say that. Trust
Well,
me.
a woman can't be a mailman.
Yeah, they think they call them mail carriers now.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same thing with the stewardess. A
Right.
guy can't be a stewardess.
No.
But now they call them flight attendants.
Okay, got
so
it.
yeah, they're covered. They're very PC.
All right, next up on a list of 15 things you don't say to a woman, number whatever this is, 12. I can't even bring myself to say it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Get ready for this one. Moist. According to a study,
Dang, no.
stop throwing
The
things.
hate is going to be coming.
According to a study conducted by an underwear company,
Well, who else?
boy, it's a good thing this is a vlog and not a broadcast, radio broadcast.
Yeah.
Moist is the most cringeworthy and disliked word in the world to women. People have a really visceral reaction to the word. They cringe immediately, so they think it's the sound of the word that's triggering it. However, the real source of people's discomfort with this word may be because of the associations it has to do with sex and bodily functions. While women aren't as grossed out when followed after food-related words such as cake, people also like, I'm sorry, moist cake. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I
honey.
love me some moist cake.
Oh, moist cake's the best.
Yeah.
And anyway, while women aren't grossed out with those words like cake, people also dislike synonyms like, oh my God, do I really have to say this?
I'm glad it's you.
Damp,
Ooh.
wet,
Ew.
really?
Yeah.
I gotta honestly do this one. Sticky.
Ooh.
Ron, you want to wrap this up?
Ooh, that might be the worst one. That probably is the worst one right there.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. So number 13, I believe, then,
Okay.
is, well, at least I never fill in the blank.
Ooh, this sounds like Danger Zone.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're deflecting, like, hey, I did this time, but I'm not going to own it. I'm going to tell you what you did before.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, hey, at least I never bumped the car into another car in a parking lot. That's, yeah, you don't want to go there. Trust me. Hey, if you did something, own it. Fall on your sword. Do not deflect. Don't be the spin doctor. Own it, and don't say, well, at least I never, and whatever she's done.
You want to really tick off a woman? How about this one? You should smile more often.
Ooh.
Maybe she's not smiling because of you, pal.
She's not happy.
I'm sure that you've witnessed men say this to women, even if they're total strangers. Let's be honest here. A woman doesn't owe you a smile whenever she's in your presence. The sexualization behind telling women to smile is alarming. It makes women feel that we are only meant to be happy and pretty, and it's a passive way to engage into an unwanted conversation when you're conversating.
Number 14, and I have personal experience with this. I just used this recently. Don't ever tell a woman, why do you always do that?
Oh, I'm so guilty of this.
Ooh. So, my wife and I go to a lot of car shows.
Yeah, you do.
And the one thing that my wife does, very innocently enough, is she'll see a speck on a car and she'll wipe it off.
Ooh.
And so I told her, if there's any dust at all in that car, you've just like used it like sandpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants their car cleaned off with your hand. And so I did it as gently as I could to break it to her. It's still hurtful. She was still hurt. She was definitely hurt, but I did it in as straightforward and non-hurtful way as I could. She was still hurt. And I'm sorry, but it is true. she just likes to, she's very touchy-feely, and she sees a beautiful car with a little gnat or something on it, she's got to brush it off.
Huh.
Yes, I did that.
The one that I have with my wife, though, why do you always do that, is why do you always bring up stuff from 12 years ago?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So, yes, I'm telling you, I'm guilty. But you know what? Really, you women, I'm talking to you. And you over there. Do you see her? I'm talking to her there. Why must you constantly keep score? You keep the score from year 2 of our marriage. Really, I don't even remember last year. I gotta go.
Sports update.
Sorry, we gotta go. We better wrap it up with number 15.
Number 15.
Whatever.
Oh, awful. Yes, that's showing the least amount of interest you can possibly show in the subject that you're talking about.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something, and then you're going to say whatever. That just means that you're not going to do it.
It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
That's what that means.
Yeah, this doesn't concern me in the least.
All right, so there you go. That wraps up our list of the top 15 things that men should never say to women. This has been another episode of Men Are So Smart. We compiled the list for you, didn't we?
Yeah, right there.
We're that smart.
Yeah.
I'm Lou Gallagher.
Corvette Ronnie.
We'll see you next time on the next edition of Men Are So Smart.
Ta-ta.